Incredible amazement park, where there are thrills by day and a fireworks display after dark. Incredible amazement park. Oh, you don't need directions because it's everywhere. Just step outside your door and look, you're already there. A world that's filled with things that fly and swim and jump and run, all in 3D. It couldn't be more fun. Woo! Whoa, let's go to the amazement park. Incredible amazement park, where there are thrills by day and a fireworks display after dark. Incredible amazement park. Let's talk about the builder and all that he designed. From sea to mountaintop, he built it all in record time. He formed the heavens, every animal and waterfall. The great creator, come on, give it up for God, y'all! Yeah! Woo! Ride the cheetah, chase and raptor run, they're super, super fast. Hop on the crazy kangaroo, you're gonna have a blast. Be sure to see the dolphin dance and penguins on parade. And give the Lord the glory for the wonders that He's made. Put your hands up in the air, yeah. It's time to take that ride. Put your hands up in the air, woo. And let the Lord be glorified. Put your hands up in the air, yeah. It's time to take that ride. Put your hands up in the air, woo. And let the Lord be glorified. Whoa, let's go to the amazement park. Incredible amazement park, where there are thrills by day and a fireworks display after dark. Incredible amazement park. Whoa, let's go to the amazement park. Incredible amazement park, where there are thrills by day and a fireworks display after dark. Incredible amazement park. Yeah, let's go!
Oh, welcome back today. Day four. Day four, can you believe it? Well, what's a day at a theme park without some good laughs, right? So let's start the day with some bird jokes that will quack you up. Did you get that quack? Yeah, I just quack myself up sometimes. Okay, first joke. What do birds eat for breakfast? Did you say shredded wheat? Yeah, that's funny. Okay, number two. What do you call a rooster that crows every morning? An alarm clock. Did you like that one? Yeah. Okay, number three. What does a bird eat with its soup? That one's probably easy though. Quackers. Yeah, that one's probably not. Okay, number four. What's black and white, black and white, black and white, and black and white? Well, did you guess a penguin falling down the stairs? Okay, well, I didn't write these jokes. Somebody else did. Seriously though, today is Design Day, and we're going to take a closer look at God's handiwork as we study the birds and their incredible design. But first, let's get started with our Incredibles. Oh man, have you ever been, I tell you what, have you ever been in a place where it's so cold that you just can't get warm? Yeah. I remember being out camping one night and I slept on an air mattress and it was freezing cold and I didn't think I was ever going to get warmed up. So we're going to talk about extreme places like cold places today. I'm going to take another bite of my popsicle here. It may be difficult for people to live in such extremely cold places, but God especially equipped some animals for life in freezing temperatures. This popsicle kind of reminds me of wood frogs. Do you know why? God made wood frogs so they'd freeze in the winter like a frogsicle and still live while they're completely frozen. They freeze in the cold, and then when the weather thaws out, they get warmer and unthaw, and then they go about their business. Oh man, this popsicle is making me all cold. Put on my hat and my scarf. Something to warm me up now. Take a look at this. This reminds me of polar bears. My hat and my scarf. We try to stay warm with our coats, but God gave polar bears a built-in coat called fur. God didn't stop there though. He took it one step further and gave them not just one layer of fur, but two to handle the extra cold. They also have a 3-inch layer of fat, 3 inches. That's like about that much of fat under their skin, which helps them to stay warm. And they also have black skin, which takes in more heat than light skin would, because black attracts the heat. So God thought of everything to keep them toasty warm in the freezing cold. I think I'm warmed up now. Take this off. I have a map here. This map of Montana. This map reminds me of the Arctic tern. The Arctic tern is a bird that flies back and forth between the North and the South poles. The North Pole is up here and the South Pole is down here on the Earth. So not only does it live in extreme weather, but it is also an extreme flyer, and he doesn't ever get lost. This animal migrates farther than any other animal, and it flies about 50,000 miles a year. 50,000 miles. Now, that's a frequent flyer. God programmed it so it knows to leave the North Pole and fly south when the harshest winter months are coming. Then after it makes it to the South Pole, it leaves before the harshest winter months come there, and then it flies back to the North Pole. So how does it know how to get back home? Do you think it has a map or a GPS? No, God programmed him that way. Well, how does he know when to go? Well, once again, he just knows because God programmed him that way. So this is Turner, the Arctic tern. He can remind you of what you're going to be learning about today at VBS. Animals couldn't have just happened. God made them that way, and their incredible design should cause us to praise God, our Creator. So, are you ready to get started with today's adventure? Okay, let's go ahead and sing a couple of songs, but before we do that, we're going to pray and begin our day. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for another day of learning about your creation and how you created the birds and the different ways that you created them to serve a purpose. And bless each one of these boys and girls today. In Jesus' name, amen.
How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood. God made the woodpecker on day 5. When he finished, he said, it's good. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? You'd think that woodpecker's bill would break or get a migraine when it eats. But God designed that woodpecker kind with a spring behind their beak. As they drill in a tree, it amazes me. Those birds don't break their necks. But how much wood does a woodpecker peck when they go peck, 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 peck? How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood. God made the woodpecker on day 5. When he finished, he said, it's good. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? That woodpecker sounds just like a drum as he thumps against the tree. He blinks his eyes and the sawdust flies, he'll never miss a beat. God put a cushion in its head so its brains don't turn to mush. Put sticky stuff on its tongue so it can catch those buck, 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 bucks. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood. God made the woodpecker on day 5. When he finished, he said, it's good. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood.
Incredible World Amazement Park. Oh, you don't need directions because it's everywhere. Just step outside your door and look, you're already there. A world that's filled with things that fly and swim and jump and run, all in 3D. It couldn't be more fun. Woo! Whoa, let's go to the Amazement Park. Incredible World Amazement Park, where there are thrills by day and a fireworks display after dark. Incredible World Amazement Park. Let's talk about the builder and all that he designed. From sea to mountaintop, he built it all in record time. He formed the heavens, every animal and waterfall. The great creator, come on, give it up for God, y'all! Yeah! Woo! Ride the cheetah, chase and raptor run, they're super, super fast. Hop on the crazy kangaroo, you're gonna have a blast. Be sure to see the dolphin dance and penguins on parade. Then give the Lord the glory for the wonders that He's made. Put your hands up in the air, yeah. It's time to take that ride. Put your hands up in the air, and let the Lord be glorified. Put your hands up in the air, yeah. It's time to take that ride. Put your hands up in the air, and let the Lord be glorified. Whoa, let's go to the Amazement Park. Incredible World Amazement Park, where there are thrills by day and a fireworks display after dark. Incredible World Amazement Park. Whoa, let's go to the Amazement Park. Incredible World Amazement Park, where there are thrills by day and a fireworks display after dark. Incredible World Amazement Park. Yeah, let's go!
Okay, those sure were some fun songs, weren't they? Well, how about that woodpecker song? We're going to actually learn about woodpeckers today. Isn't it amazing how God created the animals to do what they do? I think we're going to hear a little bit more about the woodpeckers. So are you ready to get started with the lesson? Okay, here you go. I'm going to finish eating my popsicle, and I'll see you back here at closing.
Welcome back, Park Riders. I am so excited to see you today. I've got a question for you. When you've been to like a zoo or an amusement park, have you ever been to an animal show? Oh, I love animal shows. I've seen all kinds of shows. I've seen some reptile shows. I've seen a dolphin show. Well, today we've got a special exhibit for you, and I'm going to let you guess what it's about. I'm going to give you a hint. These animals can fly. What do you think it is? Did you say birds? That's right. We're going to have a special day where we learn about how God designed all the amazing birds. Did you know that the Bible mentions several different types of birds by name? Well, we're going to be checking them out and seeing how God designed different parts of the bird in a special way. And we're going to do that through 3 stations today. Well, we got to get ready for our first station because Miss Barb's going to be coming along to teach us about our amazing designer God and these amazing birds that He created. But the first thing you need to do is you need to get a nest ready. So maybe you want to gather some pillows or cushions or even stuffed animals as you have them and make yourself a little nest. Maybe you can grab a blanket or something like that and put it down in the middle and get yourself all cozy in your nest because here comes Miss Barb with our first station.
Okay, is everybody ready for station 1? I hope you're in your nest. Here we go talking a little bit about birds because we know God created the birds and every other animal. Animals didn't just happen as we've talked about this week. They're amazing. All right, so here's what I want you to do. I'm going to put a 20-second countdown on the clock. And in that time, I want to see how many different kinds of birds you can think of. There are a lot of birds mentioned even in the Bible, but any kind of bird. You might be from the zoo. It might be from your backyard. Anything. I'll give you a couple just to get you started, okay? It could be something like an ostrich maybe, or maybe an owl, okay? All right, here comes 20 seconds. Shout out as many birds as you can think of. Go! Did you think of at least maybe 10, maybe even more? There's a lot of birds, but I want to see if you can remember what day the birds were created and the swimming creatures too. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to stand up and we're going to flap a little bit. I want you to flap your wings to show what day you think God made the birds. If you think it was day 1, just do 1 flap. If you think it was day 2, do 2 flaps. Okay, ready? Go! Did you do 5 flaps? Because that's the day that God made birds. And we know they didn't just happen by evolution. Remember that big word? When they just go from one thing and they become another thing, maybe dinosaurs, and they end up becoming birds. No, God created them. Okay, here comes our next one. Well, you'll see on this poster, Adam is naming that bird. That's one of the jobs God gave him to do, because at the beginning of time, before anything bad had happened, everything was good and work was such a pleasure. And Adam had the job of naming the animals. Don't you think that'd be a fun job to name all the animals? You might want to pause the video for a minute and just think of a few animals, like maybe a hippo or a lion. If they were named something else, what would you name them? So remember, Adam was smart and he had pleasant jobs, one of which was naming the animals. Now we talked about this, how animals were given for food to man. And that is recorded in Genesis 9, 1 through 3, and also in Numbers. And so we know that after the big flood of Noah's days, we could have eaten birds or other animals as well. And I know, I certainly like to. Have you ever eaten chicken? Like a chicken, fried chicken or a chicken sandwich? I have, I love it. Well, we could have done that anytime after the flood. So God gave us animals that we can eat if we want to. The Bible reminds us that animals belong to God. In fact, we all belong to God. Remember, we said we aren't animals. We are special, made in God's image. But we too belong to Creator God. And because He is our Creator, He is our Maker, He is the one that sets the rules. And we are just to obey them. And He knows what's best for us. So when we obey, it is always a good thing. And our last poster reminds us that God takes care of His creation. I'm so glad God didn't just make everything and just go away. No, He takes care every day of His creation, of every animal and of us. That makes me feel so special to know that Creator God is caring for me every day. I'm never out of His mind. He loves me.
Are you ready to move on to station number 2? This station is called Unique Beaks. Can you say that 3 times fast? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Unique beaks, unique speaks, unique speak. Well, I didn't do so good. Maybe you did better than me, but this station is going to be so much fun. Miss Barb's going to be coming along, and for each beak type that we're going to talk about, she's going to show you some different supplies that you can gather from around your house, and then you can test these out yourself. If you don't have the supplies or you don't have all the supplies, don't worry about it. You can just watch along and have fun doing it that way as well. So here we go with our unique beaks.
Okay, now we're on to station 2, and this is about birds' beaks. Now, this is just one great way to show you birds couldn't have just happened, just like any animal couldn't have just happened. Their beaks are all so special. God made them just for each different bird. So we're going to do some little experiments to check out which beak works best with which bird. So let's get our stuff for our first experiment. The first bird we're going to talk about, we call the stabbers, something like a stork. God made their beaks extra special to get their food. So if you want to do this with us, you're going to need a few things like an envelope or a plastic baggie, a straw, and then maybe some kind of skewer. It could even be a toothpick, okay? Be careful with those. And then you'll need just a little bit of something like a gummy fruit or a gummy worm or something like that, or Swedish fish or something. All right, now you're going to try each of these different things, and you're going to see which one picks up the food easiest. How did God make it? Now, you go ahead, if you have the stuff, and do this yourself. You'll just need to pause the video for a minute, and if you don't, just wait, and you can come back and do it with me. All right, let's try first this, the envelope or this. Now, how easy is it to pick up? We can get it, but they kind of slide back off, right? How easy is it to get it with, with the straw? Not so easy. How about the toothpick or the skewer? Ha-ha. I think that's the easiest one, and that is why they're called stabbers, because God made them so they can just get a fish, and they can just stab it, and then they can swallow it whole. That couldn't just happen. God made them that way. So the next bird we're talking about are called the scoopers, and it would be something like a pelican. Now here are some of the supplies you could get. You can kind of grab something else if you don't have exactly these things, but if you have a pair of tweezers, you need a bowl with some water, you need some kind of a strainer. I happen to have a strainer spoon, but you might actually use a little strainer. If you have something like play fish, or you could use even packing peanuts or just some little thing that floats. And you need a couple straws, okay? All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the fish in the bowl so they float, or whatever you have, something that floats, all right? And we're gonna try these different things and see which one of these is the easiest to get the fish out with. So if you have the supplies, go ahead and pause this now, and if not, you can just wait and do it with me. All right, let's try the tweezers first. All right, I probably could get it if I kept trying. Not easy though. The next thing, the strainer. And the last, the straw, or even straws. If I took two, well, it's not so easy. So did you say that you thought the easiest was the strainer? That's what a pelican's beak is like. Okay, that's what the scoopers use. They get their food, they go down and they get water and fish. The water drains out. That's how God designed their beak. And they're left with just the fish for their food. Isn't that cool that God gave them a beak that's like a strainer, takes all the water out? This couldn't have just happened. God thinks of everything. So the next birds we're going to talk about are the pickers. That would be something like a blue jay. So some of the supplies you can get if you're going to do it with us, you need tweezers, you need maybe a nutcracker. I didn't have a nutcracker, so I just grabbed a funnel, and a small strainer. Now you also need some dirt in a cup, or it could also be, if you really want to be fun about it, you can go crush up some Oreos. Ooh, that'd be fun to be your dirt. And then you need something like gummies or something that you can put into the dirt, okay? So that's supposed to be like worms and little bugs and stuff. That would just be fun that you're just pretending. Okay. So we're going to see which one of these things is going to be like the blue jay or the picker's beak. Go ahead and try it now, and if you don't have the stuff, just wait a minute and you can do it with me. All right, I wonder which one of these you would guess is the most like the picker's beak. Let's try the tweezers first and see if we can get, okay, that was pretty easy. All right, how about the funnel or the nutcracker? All right, well, even if I get it, I don't think it's gonna come down through there. Nope, it's not coming through the hole. And how about, definitely not Nope, nothing. So did you say the tweezers? That's the most like the beak God made the pickers. And they like to pick around in the dirt, and they get little bugs and worms, and so they have these little beaks that are very much like tweezers, and they can get things very fine. That couldn't have just happened. God made them that way. Okay, the next bird beak we're going to talk about are for the birds we call the drinkers, something like maybe a hummingbird. So if you're going to do this with us, you'll need something like an envelope, a straw, and maybe a spring-form clothespin would work. Okay, or you could get a slotted spoon if you wanted to. Then you also need something tall and skinny that you could put some water in. We colored ours with a little bit of food coloring, but you don't have to do that. All right, so go get your supplies if you're going to do it with us. Just pause the video, and otherwise, wait a second, we'll do it together. Which one of these three tools do you think is most like a hummingbird's beak, an envelope, a straw, or a clothespin? Let's try and see how we can get the water out. Let's try this first. See, that isn't working very well at all. Forget that one. Okay, how about a straw? Would this work? And how about a clothespin? Can we get the nectar, the drink that they're trying to get? Doesn't work. You should have said the straw. This one is the way that they can get all these liquids out of deep inside of flowers. And that's what some birds do. They drink nectar from inside flowers, so they need a straw-like beak. That couldn't have just happened. God gave them that straw-like beak. The next bird we're talking about is a cracker, or something like a macaw. Now let's see if you can find these things, something like tongs, maybe a pancake turner or some other kind of utensil like that, and maybe a nutcracker or a pair of pliers. Also, as long as you're not allergic to them, you can find some kind of a seed that's got a nut on it. These are pistachios, or you can use a sunflower kernel or a pumpkin seed, something like that. Okay, anything like that would work that they have to try to crack open, because that's what we're going to do. All right, so go get the stuff if you're doing it with me, and otherwise wait a minute and we'll do it together. All right, I wonder which one of these you think is going to do the best at cracking open the food. Let's try, first of all, I can pick it up pretty easily, but it's not as easy to crack it open with the tongs. Again, I can pick it up, but it's not that easy to crack it open. Even if I do, I have a feeling this one's gonna work the best. Easy peasy, right? Woo! So even if you managed to do it with these other ones, somehow you would have had to work at it. Definitely the nutcracker or the pliers works the best. That couldn't have just happened. God made them that way. He gave them those strong beaks and also a tongue that's got a bone in it that work together to be able to crack nuts really easily. That's kind of fun. Woo! And our last bird we're going to talk about is called the catcher, something like a vermilion flycatcher. So if you're going to do it with us, get something like an envelope. And if you have anything like a little fishnet or something like that, like a scoop maybe, or a fork, okay? And if you happen to have something, anything that could be pretend bugs. We're using toasted oat cereal because maybe it'd be fun to eat a little of those afterwards. But whatever you want to use to simulate little bugs. Okay, so go ahead and get the stuff if you're doing it with us, and we'll do it together in a minute. All right, so let's pretend that these are bugs and they're flying along. Shh. And you're trying to catch that bug, okay? If this came along, does that really work? Not so well. What about if you're flying along? Okay. How about this one if you're flying along? I missed it, but let's try again. Did you say you think this one works best? I think so. And God designed these birds to have beaks that are kind of broad and flat, and they fly around with them open all the time so that the bugs just end up flying right into them. Okay, it's kind of funny. So that couldn't have just happened. God made them that way, and he made every bird with its own special beak. You might want to check these out in your backyard. It's pretty cool. God is an amazing creator.
Aren't those beaks unique? Well, they sure are, because God thought of everything. We're ready to move on to station number 3, and it's called Fantastic Feet. Birds have fantastic beaks, and they have fantastic feet. For this one, you can get snuggled back inside your nest, because Miss Barb's going to be showing you some different birds, and you're going to have to match up which feet go with that bird. So pay close attention and see if you can figure out which fantastic foot goes with that fantastic bird.
The first set of fantastic feet belong to the perchers. They're birds that are something like turtle doves or swallows, and they're even discussed in the Bible in Song of Solomon. Let's read this verse together. The flowers appear on the earth, the time of singing has come, and the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land. Okay, so turtle doves have really cool feet. And we're going to show you a picture of a bird that's something like that, a percher bird, and you need to decide what kind of feet you think it would have. So the perchers are really cool because God designed them so that they would be able to stay on a tree branch without falling off, even if they're asleep. So they have 3 long toes in the front and 1 long toe. It looks the same as the ones in the front, but it's 1 long one in the back, and it can wrap around that tree branch, and they stay nice and sturdy. So let's see if you can figure out which set of feet belong to the perchers. Remember, you're looking for 3 long toes in the front and 1 toe in the back. Do you think it's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? Did you say 3? It is number 3. Now remember, this couldn't have just happened. God designed them that way, and I'm so glad, because they just fall off otherwise. This is so cool that God always thinks of everything. He gave them just the feet they needed. Now the second set of fantastic feet we're going to talk about are the climbers. These are the birds like a woodpecker that need feet that can climb up a tree trunk. Every bird doesn't do that, but this one does. So this bird, you're going to be looking for 2 toes in the front and 2 toes in the back, and those toes just grasp onto that tree trunk as they're moving their way up. All right, so let's see if you can figure out which one it is. Did you say number 5? If you did, that's right. Remember, it couldn't have just happened. God made them that way. The third set of fantastic feet belong to what we call the no-flyers, which is something like an ostrich. Now, if you want to read along with me, here's a great little verse from Job 39 about the ostrich. It says, "The wings of the ostrich wave proudly." One of those Bible birds. So the no-flyers are cool because they just need to be able to run fast or walk fast forward, sort of like our feet. Their toes are all in the front. They have 2 or 3 big toes, and they even have like a pad at the bottom of their foot, a soft pad, so they won't sink into the sand. All right, so let's see if you can figure out which one's theirs. You're looking for 2 or 3 big toes that are facing just forward. Did you say number 6? If you did, you're right. Remember, that couldn't have just happened. God knew what they needed, and he made them that way. The fourth one is called the paddler. This would be something like maybe a pelican that likes to swim. So God made these birds to be swimmers. It's kind of like if you're at the pool and you put on flippers, right, and they're webbed. Well, that's what their feet are like, and that helps them with their swimming. Always. That couldn't have just happened. God made them that way. So let's see if you can figure out which foot belongs to the paddlers. Did you say 4? If you did, you're right. Okay, the next foot is called the raker. This is something like a chicken, a hen, okay? So God gave them feet that are kind of like rakes. So you got to be thinking about what would a chicken foot look like. And here's a verse that has something to do with a hen in Matthew 23. Let's read it together. It says this: "How often would I have gathered your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings?" All right, so God made this with sort of, like I said, a chicken foot, looks sort of like a rake. Which one do you think looks most like a chicken foot? Did you say 1? If you did, you're right. Remember, it couldn't have just happened. God made them that way because that's the kind of foot they needed to rake through and find their grub. And our last fantastic feet that we're going to talk about are the birds of prey. They have awesome feet. Now, some birds have curved claws on their toes, like these birds of prey, and this allows them to catch their prey, which means their animal. For instance, if it's a fish, eagles, or ospreys, they have rough feet and they have long curved talons, which help them hold on to slippery fish. Other ones, like the harpy eagle, they have such huge and powerful claws, they could easily crush a monkey. Now, snake eagles' powerful toes, well, they're just right for catching and holding slithery snakes. God even gave them protective scales over their legs so that they wouldn't be able to get snake bites. All of these special designs didn't just happen. God made them that way. And he even talks about these animals in Job 9. Let's read this together. Job 9:26 says, "They go by like an eagle swooping on the prey." So they have just what they need to be able to catch their prey. And every other one of these birds has just the feet they need to do the job that God designed them. Aren't you in awe of God, our amazing creator?
Wow. Didn't God design all these birds in such an amazing way? And we only talked about a few parts of the birds. And we only talked about a few different types of birds. And as we know, birds are just a few of the many amazing animals God has created. Matthew 6:26 says, "Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they?" God took such amazing care when he created the birds and he created all the other animals as well. But he just didn't stop there. He continues to care for them to make sure that they are fed and that they have everything they need. But think about you and me. God cares for us too. He takes care of us because we are his most precious creation.
All right, here we are at our day 4 Now What segment. And let's start out by searching online together a little bit for some pictures of birds. And when you look at those, since we just talked about the beaks and the feet, look at their beaks and their feet and see if you can remember if it's a stabber or a drinker or any of those different ones and what its feet are like as well. A raker or a percher, you know how we talked about those. And then I just want you to marvel together for a little bit about the amazing God who made these birds. Isn't God incredible? Okay, and now it's time to talk about what did I learn today about God, who he is or what he's done or what he's doing. I know I've been thinking about birds and how when I look at a bird, I am never going to think about a bird the same ever again. I'm always going to be reminded of who God is, and that can make me praise him. And it also makes me realize how incredibly amazing and how incredibly caring God is. Because we know that he cares about those birds, but he cares so much more about me. What did you learn today about God, who he is, or what he's doing? talk about it for a minute. All right, here's our awesome activity for today. I think we should try some bird watching, don't you? So if you have a spot where you can watch from the window or even outside, you'll have to be kind of quiet. Check out some real live birds and see what their beaks and their feet are like. All right, have fun and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Reese, what's going on?
I just went to the Wings of Wonder bird show. Wow, was it incredible? Have you ever heard of a thermometer bird?
Can't say that I have.
It's a bird that uses its beak to make sure its nest is exactly the right temperature all the time. It sticks its beak right down in the nest and can tell if it's even just a tiny bit too hot or too cold. If it's not just right, it uses its beak to stir up the nest a bit and get it to the right temperature.
Wow, that couldn't just happen. God made it that way.
And they showed us how God made birds lightweight as they can fly easily.
Oh yeah? What did they say?
Well, God made them bones that have a lot of air in them. He also gave them air sacs, which are kind of like having lightweight balloons inside of you. And God didn't give them big, heavy teeth, but a lightweight beak. Since today's birds don't have teeth, a bird swallows its food whole. It then goes to the bird's stomach, where juices break it down into smaller pieces, but it doesn't stop there.
Right. God made them active with a high need for food, and he designed a special organ in their bodies called a gizzard to help digest their food. Many birds will swallow stones that pass into the gizzard to help crush the food. Let's try a little experiment to see how the gizzard works. You see, I have a Ziploc bag here, and I have some stones in there, just like the bird would swallow, and I have a few crackers. That's what the bird ate today. So I'm going to cut my hands and pretend that my hands are the gizzard, and then I'm going to crush them. You see how easily this food digests? Way faster than other animals or people digest their food. Birds can digest their food in about half an hour to 3 hours. Humans, it can take up to 2 days. So the food ends up in and out quickly, which keeps the birds lightweight. God really is an incredible creator.
That's not all. Bird feathers are light too. But even though they're light, they're strong. God gave them so they work kind of like Velcro, locking together to be light but strong for flight.
God thought of everything, didn't he?
He sure did. Every bird I saw at that show was incredible.
That's for sure. But you know what, Reese?
What?
God thought of everything for every animal, not just birds. Let's take the beaver, for instance.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's so marvelous. Engineers study it to learn how it builds. The beaver is able to build its home in the water without the home getting wet inside. Still though, it's not airtight, which is good. That allows bad chemicals to get out of the house and good air to get in. Engineers are amazed at this. Also, the beaver has see-through eyelids, so it can swim with its eyelids closed and still see. It also has flaps that go over its nose and ears to keep water out. Isn't that incredible?
It sure is.
Each and every animal kind has its own amazing features. There's no way at all these perfect designs could have just happened. God made them that way.
Yep, God made them that way.
Well, I think I might try to catch the Wings of Wonder show later today.
I'm dying to try the power drop.
Okay, so long, Reese. Have fun. Boys and girls, let's practice our phrase today and remember that all these animals couldn't have just happened. God made them that way. Ready? It couldn't just happen. God made them that way. One more. It couldn't just happen. God made them that way. Let's try it one more time. It couldn't just happen. God made it that way.
Hey guys, welcome to day 4. Day 4 games are pretty simple. So the first one is called Loop the Loop. We're going to show you what that looks like. The directions say that you should make a roller coaster with chalk, and your kids can draw that if they're bigger. I drew ours, and then we didn't have that big of a space for the sidewalk. So what I did instead was I drew little symbols on the different spots. So when we get to a symbol, we're going to do what the animal is or what the motion is, and then keep going. So the girls and I are going to show you what that one is. Okay, ready? I'm gonna go first, or do you wanna go first?
I want to go. I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
Hop,
Bunny rabbit, hop, hop.
whip it, whip it.
Hop,
Whoa!
hop, hop. It's a frog. We're gonna ribbit. Lion, roar. Butterfly, fly, fly. This one says clap, clap. Oh, follow the path, pipe. You got a fish, can you kiss it?
I love you. Love you.
Okay, here we come to the cyclone. Are you gonna spin?
Spin, spin.
Spin, spin.
Love
you. There's the heart. Penguin. Waddle, 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 waddle. Okay, so that's our roller coaster. You can make yours however you want to. The directions also said that you could do riding cars if you have that. And then the second game was paper airplanes. So just go crazy, make your airplane and fly it around. And then that's day 4. Thanks for playing.
Hello! Welcome back to my lab here at Incrediworld. It's me, Dr. Mister, and today's experiment is called Co-Design. For this experiment, here are the supplies that you will need. A ruler, some disposable gloves, a bowl of ice water, and a container of vegetable shortening. Smells delicious. Okay, now, do you agree that we have an incredible God? Today, we are going to be talking about the amazing design details that God has given to everything and everyone He created. For instance, how do animals like seals and walruses and dolphins and whales, how do they stay warm in cold water? Well, God, of course, gave them cool design features to keep them warm. Do this. Pinch your skin. Not too hard, just pinch it a little bit. Now, our skin, it is not nearly as thick as the skin that God gave those animals that live in icy waters. Yes, He gave them a very thick layer of skin or fat, which helps them to stay warm. This special layer of fat is called blubber. Isn't that a fun word to say? Say it with me. Blubber! Yes, blubber. So blubber is a thick layer of fatty tissue that acts as a heat insulator and stores energy. An insulator keeps heat from moving from one place to another place. In the case of these animals, the fatty tissue or blubber keeps the heat from moving inside of their bodies to the outside of their bodies. So that is why they do not feel the cold of the icy water. Also, the blood vessels inside the fatty tissue, well, they are very tiny, very small, And that reduces the amount of blood flow, and it helps reduce the amount of energy that is needed to keep their bodies warm. Isn't that amazing? So, animal blubber, it covers the entire body of these special animals, except for their fins and flippers. Okay? Blubber is one of the main reasons why these animals can stay warm and survive from year to year in the icy temperature. So now we are going to do our experiment to see how this layer of blubber or this layer of fat can be used as a good insulator of heat. Step 1. Put one glove on one hand. You pick whatever hand you want. You may need some help with this. Then you're going to take one finger, and when I say go, put it down into the icy water. Are you ready? On your mark, get set, go. Now, I'm going to put up a 1-minute timer, and you hold your finger in the icy water for 1 minute. Here we go. Ding! Now, remove your finger. And on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being, oh, I hardly felt anything at all, and 10 being, oh, I think my finger is so cold it's going to fall off. How would you rate how cold your finger is right now? You go ahead and just let everybody know on a scale from 1 to 10. Now, we're ready for step 2 of our experiment. Put the glove on your other hand. Now this time, we are going to cover the finger that we are going to put in the water with the vegetable shortening. So I'm going to reach down in there. I'm going to get lots of vegetable shortening and place it all around my finger. I need a little bit more because we want to have a very thick layer of vegetable shortening all around our finger. Make sure you get every bit of your finger covered that's going to go under the water with that thick layer of vegetable shortening. You can even measure to make sure it's at least 1/4 of an inch thick, maybe up to 1/2 an inch thick. And then we're going to put the timer back up, and you're going to put this finger down into the water. Are you ready? On your mark, get set, go! Ding! Now, on the same scale from 1 to 10, how would you say this finger feels and how cold did it get? Was it warmer than the finger that did not have the vegetable shortening? That's a very interesting question. Now, let me show you how to take your gloves off so that you don't make a huge mess. Take your finger and thumb and place it under the back of the glove, and we're going to pull the glove inside out, and the shortening goes inside the glove, inside out, and we can throw it away in the trash. You can do the same with the other hand. Pinch it and pull the glove inside out and throw it away in the trash, not to make a giant mess all over the house. Good job. Okay, now let me tell you some of the ingredients in the vegetable shortening. It has palm oil and soybean oil. Now those oils are actually fats. Does that sound familiar? Yes, both blubber on those amazing animals God created and the vegetable shortening, both are made of fat. Yes, that is why the finger covered in vegetable shortening did not feel as cold as the finger that did not have it on there. You understand now that God created all of these animals with the special ability to survive in the extreme cold. Isn't God amazing? And when we think of all these animals, let's just remember, it couldn't just have happened. God made them that way.
Hey VBS kids, welcome to day 4. Today we're going to be making 2 different kinds of bird feeders. The first one, you're going to need a pipe cleaner and some Cheerios. So make a little knot at the end of your pipe cleaner and add your Cheerios. And then we will make a loop at the top so we can hang it from a tree for the birds. And then we'll come and eat your Cheerios. The second way is go outside, find pine cones, get a little bit of peanut butter, put it on there so that your bird food will stick. Add your bird seed, and then you can add a pipe cleaner to the top of your pine cone to hang it from the tree too, so the birds can eat the bird seed. So 2 different kinds of bird feeders for the birds. Birds can fly because God made them so that they can. They're very light. They have light bones, no teeth, and light feathers. God thought of everything. Isn't God incredible? We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
This place is such a pig pen. Yesterday was so much fun. And now for round 2. But first, let's see what goodies we get to play with. Oh.
Excuse me. Sorry to bother you, but did Mr. Peterson come this way?
Mr. Peterson? No, I don't think so. I mean, I haven't seen him.
Well, that's strange. I'm sure I saw him walk this way. Mr. Peterson?
Yes, who is it?
Oh, it's Miss Ryan. I need to speak with you, sir.
Okay, just a moment.
See, I thought... Where'd he go?
Ta-da!
Ah! Oh. I was expecting Mr. Peterson. I didn't know anyone else was back there.
Miss Ryan, I am Mr. Peterson.
What?
It's because of Mabel. She somehow has the idea I'm her personal guide. And if I'm going to get any work done around here, I got to disguise myself. Besides, I can't keep up with her anyway.
Okay, but why the Incredi-Clown costume?
I know, I look ridiculous. But it's all I could come up with on short notice. Just don't look at me.
Good idea.
So, what did you want to talk to me about?
Oh, this email just came in from Adventure TV. Our scores are dropping, and we're in jeopardy of losing the award this year.
That's disappointing. But I'm not surprised. There have been a lot of strange things going on around here lately.
Any clue yet who's responsible?
No, not really. Perhaps just some pranksters.
Well, don't you think it's coincidental that it's happening the same time Adventure TV is here? I think someone's out to get us.
Well, that could be. And if so, we've got to keep our eyes open and watch out for any suspicious activity. In the meantime, we've got to get to work and act like professionals.
Right. Like professionals.
Why don't you go prepare a memo to inform the staff?
And who should I say it's from? Petey the Clown?
Ha ha, very funny. Speaking of getting to work, looks like someone needs to clean up around here. Huh. Petey the Clown. That's not bad.
Aw, their scores are down. Boo-hoo. Poor little Incrediworld. Wow, wow, wow. Now, to make sure they don't win that award, it's Operation Sabotage Theme Park, the sequel! And if you thought yesterday was fun, just wait for today. And now, let's check our inventory. Pancake syrup. Sticky. Petroleum jelly. Slimy. Itching powder. Oh, nasty. Duct tape. Don't leave home without it. Huh. What's this? Holy Bible? A Bible? Oh, come on, Millard. You've got work to do.
Hey, Cody, I was up all night reading this contract. Almost got it done. Just one small section to go, and then I'm all done with this bad boy. Whoa! That's really gnarly down there, dude. Oh, man. A brand new Yummo bar wasted. Wasted? What are you talking about? Really? Should I? Oh, dude, if you don't, I will. Okay. Here it goes. Oh, that is gnarly. Dude, it's a Yummo bar. You're right. It's worth it. Oh. Dude, I was just kidding. I can't believe you just did that. Oh.
I know. I can't believe it either.
Oh.
And you know what else I can't believe?
What's that?
That we're actually going to have our own TV show. I mean, how cool is that?
I know, I just keep thinking it's a dream.
Yeah, just think. In just a minute, we'll sign that piece of paper. It'll change our lives forever. We'll be rich and famous. So, what are you going to buy first?
I don't know. I can't decide between a new boat or a truck.
Perhaps you won't have to decide.
Oh, you're here.
Well, I told you I'd be here first thing. Now, let's execute these contracts and get down to business, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Very good, Cody.
What's this?
It's a signing bonus.
Sweet! Hey, Gabe, she's right. You won't have to decide. You can get the truck and the boat.
Next? Is there a problem?
It's just that
Listen, I don't have a lot of time here, and until we have a contract, none of those dreams you're having can come true. No boat, no truck, no house, no expensive vacations, no nothing.
I know. I just haven't finished reading the contract yet.
Well, Cody signed off on it. Don't you trust your partner? He obviously read it.
Did you read it, Cody?
Well,
Cody?
well, not every single word.
Cody!
Okay, I guess I skipped a couple sections, but it was so long and so boring, and all that party the first part and party the second part stuff. Why do they gotta talk like that?
Can you just give me 1 minute? I just have this last section to read, please.
Like I said before, it's standard language, but whatever.
Hey, Cody, come here.
Yeah, what's up?
Read that sentence.
Uh-oh. I guess I skipped that part.
Is something wrong?
The party of the first part, that's us, shall not quote from any religious book or scriptures, nor make any reference whatsoever to God or a creator.
So what's the problem?
We can't say anything about God?
Oh, well, no, you can say whatever you want about God. Just not during a show, that's all. You understand, we are a television network. We have a large and diverse viewing audience.
And you don't want to offend anyone, is that it?
That's exactly right. Can't we just enjoy learning about animals without always having to bring God into it?
No, we can't. Because that's the only reason why we do our show. I mean, animals are great, but there's a much bigger picture here. We want the kids to learn about God by studying his animals. We want them to see that their creator is an incredible master designer, that he's wise and powerful and good. And we are not about to let them leave with some ideal that it all just happened by random chance.
Think about it. Wouldn't it be strange to go on and on about some excellent painting and not even talk about the painter? That's why we give credit to God. So, I guess you can have your check back.
Excuse me? You mean you're backing out of the deal?
No God, no contract. It's as simple as that.
But we're Adventure TV! And in case you need to be reminded, we're kind of a big deal. I can't believe this! You're turning down the opportunity of a lifetime. You know that, don't you? The opportunity of a lifetime. What is that sound?
It was wonderful. I was walking through the park and I saw this new water ride. Oh, just a minute. I've got to get these wet shoes off.
Look at her, Gabe. She's soaked.
There, that's better. Yes, 1 minute dry as a bone and the next minute wet as a fish. Yeah, well, I gotta go. All right. Bye, Edna. Hi, everybody. Don't I look spiffy?
Hi, Mabel. It looks like you found whitewater explosion.
And drank most of it, too. Remind me to keep my mouth shut next time. Hello, I'm Mabel. I hope I wasn't interrupting an important meeting.
No, that's quite all right. We've just finished.
Oh, that's good. Don't you just love the extreme team? I always learn so much. Now, I love birds, have for years, but I never realized how wonderfully designed they were until I saw their show. You know, you can see God's fingerprints everywhere.
Well, that's nice. I have to go. Gentlemen, it's been interesting.
Thanks for the encouragement, Mabel.
Oh, you're welcome. You know, I tell everybody about your show. I think it's wonderful what you boys do, how you talk about God all the time. You know, we should never be ashamed to do that. Oh, my, look, it's Mr. Peterson in a clown costume.
What? Hey, is that really you?
Yes. I left my... Going back to get my watch. I left it backstage.
So what's the occasion? You're going to a birthday party?
Well, it's kind of a long story. But Mabel, look at you. You're soaked.
She went on whitewater explosion.
You're kidding.
No.
By yourself?
Oh, it was so nice of you to spend the day with me yesterday, so I thought I'd give you the day off today.
Oh, well, you didn't have to do that.
Oh, really? Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. Come on, let's go. We got lots to do.
Well, I sure am proud of Gabe and Cody with how they stood up to Victoria Hathaway and turned down the Adventure TV deal. They gave up all that fame and fortune because something else was more important to them. And that was to serve and bring glory to the creator of the universe, to God. Now, what on earth could be better than that? I don't think anything. Okay, let's go ahead and review today's verse. It's from Psalm 111, verses 1 through 2. Do you remember it? Okay, let's say it all together. I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. Great are the works of the Lord. Okay, so I want you to practice today's verse and pretend like you're spinning like the teacup rides, or tilting like the tilt-a-whirl, or racing like the racers, or hopping like the frogs, or going around and around like a merry-go-round, or any of your other favorite rides. So go ahead and do that now. Okay, now let's take a peek at tomorrow's verse. It's from Job chapter 40, verses 15 and 17. Behold behemoth, which I made, as I made you. He makes his tail stiff like a cedar. So I want you to practice that verse and practice like you were on your ride. Didn't you have a lot of fun learning about the different kinds of birds God created and how uniquely He created them? That was great. And it was great spending the day with you too. So I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for our very last day. Let's go ahead and pray and close out our day. Dear Jesus, thank you so much again for helping us to learn in your word about how you created the birds and the different ways that you just the different things that you thought of in creation. Bless each one of these boys and girls for the rest of this day and bring us all back safe and sound tomorrow for our last day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Whoa, let's go to the amazement park. Incredible World Amazement Park, where there are thrills by day and the fireworks display after dark. Incredible World Amazement Park. Oh, you don't need directions because it's everywhere. Just step outside your door and look, you're already there. A world that's filled with things that fly and spin and jump and run, all in 3D. It couldn't be more fun. Woo! Whoa! Incredible World Amazement Park. Let's talk about the builder and all that he designed. From sea to mountaintop, he built it all in record time. He formed the heavens, every animal and waterfall. The great creator, come on, give it up for God, y'all! Yeah! Woo! Ride the cheetah, chase and raptor run, they're super, super fast. Hop on the crazy kangaroo, you're gonna have a blast. Be sure to see the dolphin dance and penguins on parade. Then give the Lord the glory for the wonders that He's made. Put your hands up in the air, yeah. It's time to take that ride. Put your hands up in the air, woo. And let the Lord be glorified. Put your hands up in the air, yeah. It's time to take that ride. Put your hands up in the air, woo. And let the Lord be glorified. Whoa, let's go to the amazement park. Incredible World Amazement Park, where there are thrills by day and the fireworks display after dark. Incredible